Now, a good friend of my uncle's, Uncle Steve, who was in and out of jail, he had a prison tattoo done. He was a big fella, a bald fella, and he was nicknamed Hoss, after the big fella, the bald fella in Bonanza from back in the day. Hoss was his nickname. So he wanted his nickname, Hoss, tattooed with a needle and some ink inside the prison on his fist. So when he held his big old fist up, he'd have the word Hoss written on it. Except the bloke he asked to do it in the prison was slightly dyslexic or confused, and he typed not Hoss but Hose, Hose, not quite the same butch vibe. Similarly, Johnny Depp had, a long time ago, when he was with Winona Ryder, Winona Forever tattooed on him. That didn't last, so he had it changed to Wino Forever. Similarly, I understand, from reading my gossip column, that he had a tattoo done more recently, without thinking it through, for his wife he's now estranged from, Amber. So he may be heading for our next and final guest today on the show. They're a huge success on E4. This time they've headed, I think, to the Mediterranean. They are the Tattoo Fixers. We are joined live in the studio by Sketch, who's covered in them, and also Paisley, the receptionist from the show, if you know them. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
So first of all, where did you go this time around, Sketch? Where were you helping people out to get rid of their unwanted tats?
It was Greece, Mediterranean.
And what kind of things were you dealing with there? Because the big show's back on E4 tonight. I think it was a huge hit. Series 2 had over 1 million viewers, the channel's highest ever total.
It was a massissive hit, so we went to try and get to the root of the problem, where it all normally starts. You know,
is that where people get the tattoos done then?
These drunk holidays, you know. So we went there with all four of us, and we changed some lives.
A friend of mine was a big fan of an almost forgotten ska band now from the late 70s, early 80s called Bad Manners.
All right.
Now, Bad Manners are virtually, and he had to have the tattoo removed because, of course, people say, "Oh, have you got bad manners?" Is that, is that your nickname, Bad? Is your surname Manners? Do you get a lot of that, or is it much more the Johnny Depp thing, the wrong girlfriend, the wrong boyfriend?
A lot of it is wrong. You know, someone gets their name tattooed of their girlfriend, and it all goes wrong, and they get it all covered up. So that's a lot of it, and you get a lot of stupid drunk ones.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, it's a tattoo that they thought would be really nice, just it's been executed terribly, so it doesn't look like what it was supposed to look like.
And do you get people, when you're dealing with them at front of house places, are people very upset indeed sometimes? Are they desperate for help?
Well, yeah, of course they're desperate. Like, most times the tattoo is ruining their lives. Like, they come to us so we can save their lives. Like, we're saving the world one tattoo at a time. Honestly, we really are.
But you actually have also investing in the world of tattoos. I don't think I've ever seen a more tattooed bloke in this studio. How many have you got? How long did it take you to get all those done?
Oh, years now. I just keep adding and adding and adding.
So you started when you were 3 years old. He's lifting his hairline up for me, folks. And you can see this on our Facebook page. He's got one under his hairline. What's that a tattoo of? Just the design?
It's just a mandala design.
Okay, so it's got kind of Indian ethnic?
Yeah, it's just like the mandala patterns from like the tribe.
Okay, and can you tell roughly from looking at people, the way a wine connoisseur can have a sip of wine and say, that's 2008, the wrong side of the vintage. Can you look at somebody's tat and say, you had that done in the 90s, or you had that done in the 80s, or I had that done in the noughties?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at them and say, there's certain eras of tattoos, you know, tribal is dead now. Do you know the big tribal with the stripes? You know, that's dead now. So as soon as you look at
people... They just seem to be, a lot of the time, a lot of very dark ink. They didn't seem particularly... If you know the one... If I'm thinking of the ones that almost look like thorn bushes down people's arms, spikes off them.
That's the one. That's the one. I mean, it's not... No one likes to do them no more.
And without being too graphic, I once interviewed Ollie Reed, and we then got my show I was producing called The Word.
Yeah.
And he had a few tattoos, including, and he insisted on showing the camera, which we never broadcast, he had one on his most intimate part, and it was of eagle claws, and when he did a certain thing to that intimate part, it looked like the eagle claws were helping him and dragging something. You get my drift?
Yeah.
Have you ever had to remove tattoos from people who've had them in very intimate places?
Yes, we have. On the last show.
Well, at Coventry.
The last season. On the last season, we had to, remove mine off guys.
Okay, and do you then ask them what the pain is like when they have it done in that area? Because
I
only imagine. I mean, I'm a terrible squeamish coward, and I'd never have one done. I'm just too frightened of it all. But then to have it done there.
Yeah, I have no questions for them. All I say when I start it is, don't look down at me in the eyes. That's it. That's the only thing. Don't look down at me.
And do people tell you what it is they've had done and where they want it, where they've had it done, and how they want it removed, basically, when they come to you? Do you get all the intimate details as well?
I get more of the story, like why it happened, what they were thinking, now how they feel about it.
And you've got a lovely expressive face when I watch the show, and you can quite clearly see sometimes you're thinking, mate or woman, you're potty. How on earth can he be drunk enough or in that much of a state to consider having, or that much in love or whatever it is? What's the saddest one you think you've heard about?
The saddest?
Because some are very much kind of broken relationships, aren't they? Or people have fallen out of love with people or things.
I think it was, this girl had like a memorial tattoo for her mum on her foot, and it was meant to be like a real pretty flower, and it just looked like a hot mess all over her foot. Like, that was tragic.
Yeah. So have you got a blacklist? Do you know if somebody comes in with a tattoo sketch, you say, that's the work of Harry down the Old Kent Road. That fellow was trained by Stevie Wonder.
A lot of people have their own unique styles, but you'll find that in a lot of established artists. So established artists that are solid, they're not going to do crap tattoos, you know. So you can't really judge them by when they come in, because no one really comes in with a decent tattoo to cover.
And what's the most impressive one you've ever seen? I mean, yours are pretty darn impressive if you like that kind of thing. But actually, what's the most kind of ambitious one you've seen on somebody?
I think there's a guy that's got puzzle pieces all over him, and he's coloured like green.
Like a jigsaw?
Yeah, I see him at a tattoo convention once, and it's absolutely insane. But well done to him. It's at a lot of pain.
Ouch. Well, see, a very good friend of mine had a tattoo done to mark her 60th birthday. She didn't have one before, and she wanted a champagne glass on her right buttock cheek. Okay, and I never saw it, but I heard about it, because then when she was 70, she went for a medical checkup. Okay, so she stripped off, and she's got the like a baby sham glass on her bottom, right? And the doctor, when she's leant over, he said, "Oh, you're a big fan of gardening, then?" And she said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you've got a little shovel tattooed on your bum." And what happened was gravity had taken its toll and stretched the glass into a shovel. Does that ever happen? Do people's skin get too wrinkly, or they get too tubby, or lose too much weight, and suddenly the tattoo looks like something Salvador Dali might have actually walked away from?
I mean, you can have problems with it. You know, tattoo stretches with the skin and stretches back, so it's not too bad like that. But you do get the odd case. You know, a lot of women get pregnant, and if they've got tattoos on their stomach, they can get stretch marks through them, which can destroy a tattoo. And but then that's why we're there to try and fix it.
Yeah, do you know, we had an amputee once, and he had a tattoo on his leg that was like amputated, but they took some of the tattoo off, so it was like completely wrong. Yeah. It was a quote, wasn't it? And they'd taken off the most important word or something.
He was a soldier, like really touching story, and he was a Liverpool fan, right?
Yeah.
You'll never walk alone from Carousel.
And then when he had his leg blown off, and they sewed it together, he's obviously got no bottom leg, and it says down his leg, "You'll never walk."
That's got to go, hasn't it? That's got to go. Did he have a sense of humour about it? I think he did. I remember that one.
And he said he's sure the surgeons had a sense of humour as well. He said he thinks they've done it on purpose. I thought, do you know what, let's just nick that little bit off as well.
Okay, well, if I'd ask you to stick your headphones on, because before we say goodbye, remember, Tattoo Fixers is back. It's on E4. It's a top watch. It's one of those curious things, as Paisley was kind of into there. It's funny, but it's also very moving at times. Yeah. And what you get is the sense that actually people sometimes make stupid decisions or change their mind, and you guys are there to help. So thank you very much for what you do. Great entertaining show as well. This time there from the Mediterranean Greece. We've got a little quiz for you. I've got 60 seconds to see how well you might know your tattooed celebrities.
Okay.
Are you up for this? There's a big prize. Would you like to know what it is?
Yeah.
The chance to keep listening to talk radio. So, okay, that's what you've got to for. We'll still send it even if you get these wrong. Here we go. Your 1 minute for the Tattoo Fixers about celebrity fixers starts right now. This singer loves the little things in life, and decided to get some ink to commemorate the lyric, "You can't go to bed without a cup of tea." There's only one direction this person
might be going. One direction.
Louis Tomlinson, right? Paisley, join in whenever you like sketch. This One Direction bandmate thought what makes him beautiful is the great big butterfly on his tummy. Who is it? And he has long hair similar to your sketch.
Harry,
you obviously love One Direction, Paisley. You're down with the kids.
Like One Direction.
This X Factor judge decided to spend 55 hours having a tattoo of a rose inked right across.
Yeah, I was going to say
Cheryl Cole, or whatever she's called this week. And this Osborne has the words "stories" tattooed on the shaven side. It's an Osborne of her hair.
Kelly, yeah.
Kelly Osborne, you're absolutely right. Congratulations. Come back and see us again. Thank you very much indeed. Sketch and Paisley there.